baggy and stretchy. And
yeah, man.
Fucking Americans, god damn it.
My wife was actually quite surprised. I wore these to work the other day. And she's like, did you really wear... She's like, those aren't work appropriate. I'm like, sure they're corduroy. Why would they not be? Just because they got a tight?
I mean, I don't know fashion like that.
I covered it up with a sweater. Nobody knew.
There you go.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Proficient Fans. My name is CB and with me is
Clay Haggard.
Clay, how was your week, buddy?
Excuse me. Babysitting Clay Haggard.
Babysitting Clay Haggard. You know,
bring your kids to work day.
Yeah, I had to text Clay today and say...
and ladies, I don't got kids. So...
I do.
Just let them know I'm available.
I'm not.
Wonder how many women listen to our podcast. I want a demographic breakdown of our pod.
I keep on checking every time and never have enough...
Shout out Ange.
I know.
We know she's listening. Shout out Dawn, if she's listening. That's all I got, though.
Sound like you're 0 for 2 right now, buddy.
How many ladies you got listening? All right.
I'm not looking for ladies to listen.
Nor is the one that you have listening. That's my point.
I know.
I get rid of them and they still listening. I'm kidding. Don't text me. Don't yell.
You can text me, Ange. I think you're awesome.
Hey. Just keep it.
Clay thinks you're awesome, too.
Yeah, I was going to say. Come on, there's never no...
I said that and I was like, oh, that sounds awful. But...
All right, let's just go ahead and restart the episode now from the top.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode. So, how was your week? We had a nice storm here in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah, dude.
Did you get affected?
Everyone's power, 0. Well, that's not true. So, I am grateful that I did not lose power during the storm. People east of me, my parents east of me, friends north of me, friends west of me, friends south of me. Literally all over the place, people have lost power. And we have managed to say... electrified, if I may. We did have a couple trees fall, though. We had one right out back. Yup, and that one, I mean, that was blocking the parking space, part of the driveway. That one was pretty bad. One at the end of the driveway. And as you guys were coming in, I think they took care of it all yesterday. So thank you to Consumers Energy. Thank you to all the tree cutting companies. And, like, the effort has been phenomenal. But we had trees blocking almost every other road or street in my neighborhood. Like, you had to maze your way out or go all the way around through another neighborhood, you know, out on Alamo to come all the way around to get back in. And you know, unfortunately I did see some damaged vehicles, damaged houses, at least in my area, but you know, I know it's bad all over the place. So I'm glad we're almost out. I know you're hoping to get everything turned back on shortly. Hopefully today, dude.
It's been a long fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
So Wednesday's when the ice storm hit.
Yeah. And
as soon as I walked in the house, chanting from the living room, "Hey, Dad," and I go, "Hey, bud," and it goes, "Shoo, shoo, shoo." As soon as I walked in the fucking house, the power went out. Then so early bedtime for everybody. Went and laid down, and I'm sitting there listening, and I just keep hearing branches falling throughout the night. My dogs are barking like crazy. Was one, I go, what the fuck? So I jump up, I go look in the front yard, nothing from our end. So I go and look in the back, because my neighbors have this tree that hangs over my garage. And I go start looking at that, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't look regular. So I went outside, looked, sure enough, fucking most of the branches that were on our side of the fence fell.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, no damage to the roof or garage or anything like that, even though I would have liked to have it gotten destroyed so I could have built a new garage. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But we had this lattice up because of the fact that we put that up to hide our neighbor's backyard when we were sitting on our patio area.
Yep.
Which, if you go back in time and look at that that podcast we did outside of my house, you know, you'd see that lattice there, if I'm not mistaken. But that got destroyed, which is cool. They put up a privacy fence, so I was ready to get rid of that lattice anyways. But then I go back inside. I'm like, I'm too, I got to watch. Because all I heard when I was outside was just shit falling all over the place. Go sit in the living room. I'm watching. I noticed that, we have a big branch in our driveway now. I'm like, no, not a big deal. It's in my driveway. Looks like I can move it. I'm sitting there and I'm watching out the window. And I hear crack. I go, ooh, what's that? And then boom. I mean, a tree. Like this big, man. Like fucking huge. My neighbor's house.
Damn.
And at first I was like, oh, okay, cool. It missed most of it. Just part of the big branch. He cleared it up the next day. Sure enough, he has a hole in his roof.
Damn.
So, he's got to deal with that. Luckily, it did miss the house because, he ended up having his family in the family room, but they were where that branch fell was right about where his newborn's room was.
Wow.
So it's such a good thing that he already had them moved over. So, that fear of my baby.
Yeah.
Next morning, woke up. That night, we ended up getting a little bit of power back, right? Woke up in the morning, Tara's got the TV on. She's like, hey, I can't make you coffee because when you hit the coffee maker, it shuts down all the power in the house. And I was like, okay, they gave us partial power. Well, I can fuck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have internet, we have TV. We're good.
Life is good.
We have heat. I was just like, these are all things that are great. Started to go get ready for work. Went and moved that branch that I told you about. Cleaned it up. Tara's sitting there. She's like touching this branch that's drooping really low. I'm like, fucking stop! And she's like, don't yell at me! I'm like, not trying to yell. Just don't touch anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes in the house. I go take care of the rake and stuff. I start walking back to the house. I peer up to the front of my house. Watch that branch she was touching fucking collapse. Way bigger. Couldn't move that fucker out the way. They had to cut it and all that shit. Like, couldn't get an Uber to work. I called work and I said, hey, I need you to send somebody to come pick me up.
Fair.
They got somebody to come get me and I went to work. And,
nice.
And my neighbors who are awesome got the tree, that big ass limb out of my house.
Yeah.
Or out of my driveway. And I guess probably the rest of my day is going to be helping them clean up their yards.
Sure.
But
I'm not married, but was there an I told you so moment there, or was that one of those
I
just called work and called? Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, no.
Because I guarantee if that was a friend,
the look was there.
If that was a friend situation, it's like, what did I just tell you? And then I'm like, I'm not married. I assume that was a terrible way
to say something about the butterfly effect. Yeah. The butterfly effect. I essentially was talking about that and just like, shit happens when you start doing things because you didn't pull on it really.
Right. No, but I didn't think
it was like all
way.
because a bug went ka-choo. It's one of those things. And
yep.
Yeah, it was. It's just been a fucking couple days, man.
Yeah.
Thursday night, came home, no power, went to bed. Friday was family fun day, which we planned on anyways, right? We were just like, hey, we're going to go, go out to eat for lunch. We went and watched Ant-Man. And, and just trying to make a day of just having fun and hanging out together. And one of Tara's friends is moving into a new house, renting it. And he's just like, hey, we're not going to be here. Brand new furnace, electricity. He's like, stay here for the night. So we went home, grabbed air mattress.
Yeah.
We ended up staying there for the night. And so we had one night of heat. And then last night was cold as balls. But early bedtimes, waking up at 5:30 really wasn't that hard this morning.
Yeah, I bet.
So this is my life. I had to text Clay on the way here. Hey, it's bring your kids to work day because, I have no heat. And, Tara's been done a fantastic job driving the guys all around the countryside, just, trying to keep them entertained and warm. And it's just been a very expensive few days.
Sure.
Because everything costs money.
Well, I'm hoping you get out of the dark soon, my friend.
Nah, man. Me too.
The feudal age.
Oh, like
the dark age.
These guys are like, there's like, if we get power back, we're fucking doing all-nighter gaming and all this stuff. I'm like, why do we got to go that crazy? But, I mean, like, they're on midwinter break, so, like, their whole midwinter break has been dicked. And so it's just been a rough one. So they've been great warriors on this whole situation, and I definitely hope we get power back today because it'd be real lovely.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for you.
I haven't watched any sports.
Yeah, I assumed.
You know,
that's okay. We got some game plan for today.
We do have some game plan for the day. I guess I don't know where to start, man. We didn't even talk about that part. No,
what are you talking about? You start with your NBA. Unless you need a segment.
Nah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big of a conversation.
I don't either.
Because, but, you know, because of the NBA All-Star Weekend, and it's something that, like, you know, most NBA fans know about. You know what I'm saying? But I guess we never think about.
Yeah.
And it's just been brought to a lot of light because of last week being the All-Star game over in Utah. And Utah's hero is Karl Malone and John Stockton. Well, besides John Stockton being a crazy conspiracy theorist, you have Karl Malone, who is, you know, and this is old news, but back when he was 20 and in college, he impregnated a 13-year-old girl, and that girl had a son, who actually ended up becoming an NFL lineman.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of wild to find out about, but yeah, so, you know, but over the All-Star game, the NBA and Utah, they definitely were like, oh, you know, Karl Malone, you're the shit, you're the best, but yet he is in his 20s, a sexual predator. So I mean, you know, I'm sure he's not that way anymore, but I was just, I don't know, for whatever reason I put it in the notes of just like, you know, any thoughts on how the NBA, who we always say is very progressive and, you know, forward thinking about like trying to make sure that they're doing what's best for the brand and all that stuff, and the best for the players, and not stopping the fact of, hey, we're not going to celebrate somebody that got a 13-year-old pregnant.
Fair.
Any thoughts on that, or are you just?
I mean,
because essentially,
yeah,
for the most part, it's considered rape. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I mean, also, you know, 70s, 80s, those times are so. Sure.
I mean, I think even back in those times, I think people understood that that's a pretty ludicrous age gap. You know, like, I mean, by all means, I don't think you are saying that it was appropriate back then.
I'm not saying that.
No,
at
I
all.
know.
Yeah.
Well, just to be 100% transparent. I think it's probably the right move. I mean, is it something that you always want to constantly be bringing up? I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess that's not my place to say whether or not let's talk about that all the time and shame this person. But it was probably a good move. Or I think it would have been a good move to not even acknowledge any of it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like then it's taking away from the All-Star break, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's the same as great example, actually. I watched the Bullies of Baltimore on ESPN Plus. It was awesome, mostly because Ray Lewis is one of my favorite players of all time.
Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, and awesome.
But as far as that goes, one of the things that, of course, they discuss is when they're going to the Super Bowl back in 2000, all the media wanted to do was bring up Ray Lewis's charges, correct, which he was proven innocent of. But point being is, it takes away from the moment. And I don't know. I get it. Media has a job. You know, and I want to say there's a time and a place, but at the end of the day, in a situation where someone's guilty, we don't, you know, like, not to even say innocent or guilty dictates how the media approaches certain situations. They have their job, but it's just one of those, like, unfortunately, when the stage is big, that's when the media gets the most.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily the media that was bringing up. It's more of the social outcry of everybody just, you know.
Wait, are you talking about Karl Malone situation.
Yeah. I mean, like
over All-Star break.
Over All-Star break,
Sure.
I feel like it was more, social media, Twitter, those types of reporters bringing more about it. Like, hey, why are we celebrating this?
I mean, are they not media nowadays?
Yeah, more. Yeah,
you know, but yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's not like ESPN was like, hey, Karl Malone,
he fought with the little girls 20 years ago. And the thing, like once again, we're sitting there, we're trying to look at this at Karl Malone's situation and make wrongdoings there, but we Woody Allen still walking these streets, where he's I don't know if you know who Woody Allen is.
I do.
But,
yeah.
That situation
before me, but yeah, I know who Woody Allen is.
That situation still went on, but he's never been brought to court. Right. So that's the reason why. I mean, once there was a podcast I was listening to, and they were talking about this same thing. And somebody said, because he provides value, right?
Sure.
Like when he's valuable to Utah. Like he's the reason why anybody went to the Utah Jazz games. John Stockton. Nobody was just going to go watch John Stockton toss the ball around and get assist. But they'll go watch Karl Malone, who's the third leading scorer of all time. Go score buckets.
Third greatest scorer of all time. I mean something.
Why do you got to add greatest into the conversation?
Wow, I didn't think that'd get a rise out of you. I was just saying he's third greatest scorer of all time. Just like Steph's the greatest three-point shooter of all time because he has the numbers to back it up. But yeah, continue. Anyways, dude, I don't know why I don't want to squirrel. Go ahead. Back to Karl Malone.
So is Steph better than LeBron? No.
At three-point shooting, yeah.
And winning championships?
Got more. No, he doesn't. Steph has 3. Right?
Oh, Steph has like 4, doesn't he?
4? I don't like the Golden State Warriors. I thought he only had 3. He had 2 without Durant and 1 with Durant, right?
I thought he won 2 with Durant.
Did he win 2 with Durant? Was it 2 with Durant and 1 without Durant?
That
I don't remember.
No, because they beat LeBron twice without Kevin Durant. And that's not a shot at
no. It's fact. I mean, I can't get mad at you for a fact.
I know. Well, I mean, every time
I thought, man, okay, I thought it was only 1 with KD, and then KD left for Brooklyn.
Steph Curry.
No, 2 sounds right, dude. 4? Man. If he does have 4, he's pretty good. I mean,
4-time NBA champion.
4. So it was 2 with KD.
Yeah, it was 2015, 17, 18, 22.
Oh, 20. Boy, yeah. Oh, so they're... Okay. Yeah. The one I forgot was literally the one last year without KD. So they only won 1 with KD? No, the 2 middle ones were with KD.
Yes. Yep. So, yeah.
Damn, 4. For some reason in my head, I think it's because I wasn't counting last year. I just wasn't processing that they are the defending NBA champions.
Who do they play?
Boston? Was it Boston?
That sounds right.
That's my point, though, is like that for some reason in my head isn't processed.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who won 2021. It's not processing for me right now, dude. It's not processing.
The Bucks.
Was it? Yeah, Milwaukee.
Yeah. Because in 2020,
who'd they play? Phoenix. Did Phoenix make it that year?
Or was it last year? No, it had. Yeah.
Boy,
that sounds about right.
I'm not an NBA guy. I got my player,
I don't remember
but
Super Bowls either. But I mean,
I'm a little bit better with Super Bowls, but not much better. We need another trivia day.
Right? Oh.
Just make fools of ourselves.
Yeah, I hated that day. That was the worst.
A random trivia article, and we were like, wow, we are dumb as shit.
Yeah.
That was a tough one, though. They wanted, like...
the diameter of baseball.
Yeah, dude.
How much is a golf ball compressed at the strike of 45 miles per an hour? At what velocity will it fly?
We should have just name a player and say where he went to college.
I hate that game, too.
I'm pretty good at that game.
I suck.
Or name a college, and you got to name the mascot. I'm phenomenal at that game. There are some tricky ones out there, like Old Dominion. It's a tough one.
What is it?
That's tough. I'm not sure on that one. That's what I'm saying. I bring up the ones that I know for sure I can never remember. Providence, although I think they're the Friars. Nonetheless, I think you.
But yeah, anyways, I just thought it was nuts that, that they kept on bringing up Karl Malone.
Back to Karl Malone. We've got shit to talk about today.
It's a rough one. Rough one. I'll tell you what. Let's take a break and let's come up with a game plan.
Ready, break.
All right, let's bring it back.
Well, we have a game plan, guys, but it turned into us having a full-blown conversation without recording. So
yeah,
we're going to try and recreate that moment. Like, I was like, why are we not just recording this?
It would have made sense. Our interns that I brought with us today suck.
We're doing shit jobs.
They didn't record anything. They just let us live.
Hey, but if whining was working, they'd be fucking employees of the month.
Oh, man. They'd be sharing that plaque every fucking month. Sure. I'm surprised we haven't heard a complaint about the internet.
Just because I got that gamer internet, son.
I know. Well, the stupid thing is we got the best internet you can get.
Shout out Spectrum Free Internet. Thanks for fucking up your accounts.
Really? You got free internet?
Yeah. I got this shit going when I first moved in, right? And I canceled my old spot. I had it scheduled. So I started this up the same day my scheduled cancellation was set. Get everything established. Boom, got internet. Literally later that day, or was it next day? It was within a 24-hour period. All of a sudden, I get an email. They're like, you've successfully canceled your service. It's behind you. It's behind you. It's behind you. You've successfully canceled your service. And I'm like, okay, but why does that have my current address? And why am I still connected? So I go online. I'm chatting with somebody. I'm like, yo, I got an email saying my shit got canceled. I want to make sure it's not getting canceled. I have it right now, but if that cuts off, like, I work from home. And they're checking into it. They're like, we're sorry, sir. Like, you don't have an account with us. Like, we can't pull up a profile. I'm like, okay, thank you. Bye. Close that fucking browser. And I have been using high-speed internet ever since with not paying $1.
Allegedly.
No, fuck that. I would rather them find Proficient fans. We'll make it in the news.
Oh.
So, yeah, I even had a sales rep. I have his card. Came up knocking on my door one day. Hey, you're in our service area. I was wondering who you're using as your service provider. I go, you. He goes, it says here you don't have a service with us. And I was like, because y'all aren't charging me for it. I go, you guys, I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. You guys made a mistake. I have documentation saying you canceled my account successfully. That's that, buddy. He goes, oh, that's crazy. He goes, I ain't going to say nothing. That's awesome, man. him and I chopped it up for 45 minutes. And I was standing by the door talking.
Clay sitting there going, I know you won't, Jimmy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, we chopped it up. We talked sports for 45 minutes.
That's what's up.
It was cold, too, and I was just standing there in the doorway talking sports with this guy.
Didn't offer the guy to come in and have
No, he marked me off his sheet, so that way no one will reach back out to me. He goes, yeah, man, let me just take care of you.
That's what's up.
Marked me off, good to go. I'm off the call list and all that shit.
Now you're gamer friends?
Huh?
Now you got each other's tags?
I probably should have, but no.
I'm like, yo, man, I got that gamer internet stuff.
Yeah, he tried to offer me a job because really? We were talking so much, and he's like, oh, what's your, I told him about my background with sales, and now I'm in marketing, blah, 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 and so, yeah, he was like, yeah, man, we get great money traveling around doing this, like, just saying,
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, anyways, back to sports.
Manny
Machado. As soon as we stopped that segment, about to complete a 11-year, $350 million deal. Get that bag, Manny. But then they pulled up the highest total value contracts in MLB history, and they got above him. $360 million, 9 years to Aaron Judge. 12 years, $365 million to Mookie Betts. And 12 years, $426.5 million to Mike Trout. And we're looking at these numbers, and we just started talking about these numbers, and CB is just like sickened by how much money some of these guys get paid. And
just because I just don't get it. Baseball don't make money.
Yeah. The
MLB doesn't make money.
Yeah. And
the players are.
And then I bring up my opinion. And the contracts are obviously different. Guaranteed money's different. How they accrue, it's all different. I get that. But if we're comparing apples to oranges, I think it's crazy that Trout's for 12 years, $426.5 million, and then you have someone like a Pat Mahomes, 10 years, $500 million. And I understand both of these numbers are inflated because I know they don't get every cent of what that allotment looks like. A lot of stipulation in these contracts, but I started discussing how I personally find it crazy that a baseball player can make pretty much just as much money as a football player. And I know that they still have, they get banged up, they still have injuries. There is no way in hell a baseball player suffers more physical contact and harm in a baseball season, even all 162 games, which they don't play all of them.
Right.
Understandably, by the way. Totally get it.
They're on better player management than NBA players.
I mean, pros and cons. You're away from home more. You're traveling all the time. Definitely more time in the given year as well. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's wild to see how much money that these guys get paid, just to play 9 innings.
I don't get it. It's you're like, you made a comment about them making
half the money as the NFL, like the MLB.
Yeah, the MLB making half of that. I was just like, that's impossible. They're making like a third to a quarter.
Yeah.
Because even I feel like in playoff baseball, you don't see the stands filled. In playoff baseball, you could still probably just randomly get a ticket. But they're going to jack up the cost.
Yeah.
Just because it's playoff baseball, which is fine, you got to reach for as many straws as you can when you're. But I feel like when I do check out playoff baseball, I'm like, why are there open seats? Why are there open seats in the third inning? Like that's what drives me crazy. And then there's because you got people that are just showing up like I'm sure every seat is sold, but
right. I would say that baseball is probably the epitome of a social sport.
Yeah.
Where I know for a fact, I personally know people who go to baseball games just to be in the sun and hang out with their friends. They have no intent or interest on watching the game. It's just a fun sport to be outside and watch.
I had to go. I didn't have to. I got to go in a previous job life to a baseball game for work. It was a work day thing, and we went to a game. And because it was a work day thing, even though I wanted to watch the game, I also just found myself networking. It was, it's just, I guess it's a good way to just network itself. But I know I have certain friends that I go with, and it's to go watch the game.
Yeah.
But still have conversation with random people.
Mm-hmm. Watching the game.
Yeah.
Same as our state games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go green.
Go white. Go green.
Go white.
Hey, boy, pull your earplugs out. Go green.
Go white.
Thank you.
Go white.
He had his.
Oh my goodness.
I talked over that other guy.
He won't get picked up on
that. Talked off that other guy back there.
That dude.
But anyways,
God, music must be loud. Or he's just doing a great job of listening to you. One of the two.
One of the two. Maybe he's listening to last week's podcast.
Oh. Maybe.
But yeah, it's just crazy to see these kind of dollar amounts happening, and I don't know how this works out well for teams.
Yeah,
this is
because there's no cap.
Amounts.
There's no cap.
There's no cap.
There's no salary cap. These guys owners can pay these players this kind of money, and if they got the money to keep on backing it up, they can give every player on their entire roster $350 million for 11 years. If they could. That would never happen. That's not financially responsible. But I'm saying theoretically they could. There is no salary cap in baseball. And to me, that's a problem. I think every sport should have a salary cap.
Oh, I mean,
every sport should have a salary cap.
Bit more. It makes it so it keeps every team on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And it makes those small market teams not so small market at that point, right?
I think it just makes for more competition.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Correct. The talent gets spread out. Because, if you are a Yankees fan or a Dodgers fan or, as of late, a Padres fan because they've just been forking it out. If you're in these bigger markets and you have that kind of money, you can just afford more people. And does that always equate to championships? No, it doesn't.
Look at the Lakers.
But
we pay a luxury tax every year.
Yeah.
Because we can afford to do it.
Yep. So
baseball, don't worry about it. You look at the Mets this year. I mean, I'm surprised there's not a Met up on that screen right there because they did not but shell out cash.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we're talking about all these potential changes to the MLB and how that could better the game. Well, ironically enough, we have a couple big rule changes that are finally going to be live this season in the MLB. They've been using a lot of these changes in the minor leagues, and we're finally going to start seeing them in the MLB, which we already have been seeing them in the MLB if you pay attention to baseball and videos and things like that. So I'm just going to go over some of these, and we can definitely stop if we want to have conversation in them, but I'm at least going to finish off the page because each page is set to a specific rule. So pitch timers in the MLB. Pitchers, so there's 15-second timers with bases empty and 20-second timers with runners on base. Hitters get 1 timeout per plate appearance, must be in batter's box, and alert to pitcher by 8 seconds remaining on the timer. So they get a couple seconds to where they can kind of adjust some gloves, but with 8 seconds left in that timer, they better be in the box ready for a pitch. Pitchers have 2 disengagements, which is would be like a pickoff attempt or stepping off the rubber per batter. The third step off is recorded as an out or a balk is issued. It wouldn't be recorded. It does say third must record an out, which would be a pickoff attempt. Yeah. So if you do step off a third time, you better tag that guy successfully. If not, it's a balk, and then he gets to take the next base by default. Talk about a gambling scenario, huh? Shit. That'll be exciting. And then we have limits on pickoff attempts contributed to 26% increase in...
We got power. Sorry.
That's just a big deal. Across. That's worth.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Go on.
Confirmation? Is it from
this
intern?
Intern, what are you reading? Read the message.
All right. Mom said, "Come home and game on." We got power.
Oh, okay.
She said, "Come home and game on my babies."
Okay.
Game on my babies. Is that sexual? Hey yo.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations to you guys.
Woo!
So that's pretty. It's pretty awesome.
All right, back to recording.
All right. I feel like none of this is important anymore. None of this is important anymore. You guys get to keep your toes warm at home.
Oh my god.
I guarantee when we stop, you're like, leave it. I'll get it next week. Right. Just take off.
I'm coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So limits on pickoff attempts contributed to 26% increase in stolen bases in the minors. So stolen base attempts. So 26% increase to stolen base attempts in the minor leagues, testing out these rules. And then the pitch timer helped reduce game length. This is the big one. It helped reduce game length by 25 minutes a game in the minors. If the MLB can get games to 2.5 hours, I will be blown away.
Well,
which I'm not saying is going to happen.
But it'll be nice because of the fact that, like, attention can be... I mean, how long do people stick around for an NFL game? About 2.5 to 3 hours. Where now you're starting to compete, or basketball for it.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to get to where you've been able to get people to stay around.
Yeah.
A 9-inning baseball game that goes 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Nobody has time for that bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, normally the game's 3, and I still think even with the minors getting reduced by 25 minutes on average, this guy got power. Think he runs his house.
I know, right?
This guy. What'd you put in that Slurpee? You got a little liquid confidence right now.
a little yak.
No, but shit, I don't even know where I was.
Timing, 25 minutes off of minor league baseball.
Yeah, thank you. So I don't see the MLB attempting to shorten these games. I think that they're going to just stack more advertisement in like televised games.
Oh, yeah.
Because like the difference between the minors and the majors, obviously, is you're going to have TV timeouts.
Yep.
There's a designated length of time in between innings that are there for ad purposes.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think what's going to happen is MLB games are televised going to all of a sudden start drastically reducing. However, I do think when the game is on, it's going to be less BS time between pitches. You're going to see a lot more action. So that'll be super nice to see. And then I do still think when it comes to just these pitch rules, we have seen in the MLB, we've already seen this take effect in spring training. Braves, Red Sox.
Yes.
Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases loaded. Batter wasn't in the box and ready. Umpire called time, called the batter out. Game ended in a tie. The whole crowd went crazy too. You might be able to clip that in there. But it was wild. You're not used to seeing that in an MLB game, and I do think that'll be fun. So some of the other rules, just so I can kind of get through these, they're going to have bigger bases. So first, second, and third base is increased from 15-inch squares to 18-inch squares. These bigger bases expected to have a positive impact on players.
About that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I hate when people cut me off.
Know, right? Like,
is that why you cut me off on the mic so much? It happens to you so much at home. You're like, this is my time.
This is my time, damn it. No, like that bases thing really fucked with me because I was just trying to understand the concept of that and what that was all about.
Well, would you like me to get to it?
Proceed.
So, this reduced injury events near bases by more than 13% in the minors. Bigger bases mean less people in a smaller space.
Yeah.
I know everyone's just like, 3 inches, that's it? But it's a big deal in the game of baseball. It's going to also reduce the distance between base paths.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So yeah, and then we have shift restrictions, which this is the interesting one, and I've heard some different feedback from different people. So 2 infielders must be positioned on either side of second base when pitch is delivered. No more stacking 3 guys on the right or 3 guys on the left for pull hitters.
That I like.
So all 4 infielders must have both feet within the infield when the pitcher is on the rubber. So that means no more standing in the grass, shallow outfield. You have to be on the dirt in the infield. Shift restrictions increase batting average and decrease strikeouts in minors while giving players more opportunity to display their athleticism.
Fair.
So I have a lot of people who have felt one way or the other on some of these rules. Whether you like the base changes, but you hate the pitching changes. Whether you like this or hate that, guess what? The game is struggling. They need fans. They need viewers. If you love the game of baseball, what's more important? Salvaging the history or making sure this game is continuing to be played in the future?
100%.
And I feel like a lot of people are stuck between that. You have a lot of prideful people, who don't want to see the game change. It's America's pastime, even though the game has changed a ton over time.
There's instant replay.
Yep, and people just don't like what they're not used to. And I get it. I can respect it. Like, it is what it is. But at the same time, I'm such a big sports fan in general. I will always welcome new rules if they think it's going to better the game. If we find out that rules are hurting the game, you know what we can do? We revert back. That's why I'm just so...
None of these rules are anything that's going to destroy the game or destroy like the integrity of it.
Yeah.
It's only just trying to make it better.
It really is. It really is. It's trying to make it more exciting.
Well, and I mean...
Everything else changes in life. Technology will evolve. Vehicles have evolved. Houses... Like, everything evolves over time.
Call me crazy, but like, I don't know too many kids... really. But I mean, like...
Go on, Carl, with your story.
Yeah, right? Yuck.
That is not what he said.
But when it comes to, like, baseball, most of the kids that, like, have this Field of Dreams thing is pushed on by their parents. Mm-hmm. That grew up playing baseball, right?
It was more of a Sandlot kid.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
It's great movie though. Great movie.
Where it's not like, oh, I love baseball because baseball's awesome. It's, oh, this is just all I know.
Yeah. Yep.
Where, kids that pick up basketball, that's going to be the big one. I always think of basketball when it's just, oh, I just like playing because you can go do that by yourself. You need nobody else for the game of basketball.
Definitely a very low entry barrier to the game.
And so it's like you can love that sport and not need anything else. You don't need a team. You don't need. All you need is a ball and a hoop. Yep. And not all the time do you even need a hoop.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'm gonna be for anything that's gonna help increase the game of baseball. I love baseball. Yep. I don't watch a lot of it because I just don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, and I've fallen off of the game myself. I loved playing it. Favorite sport to play was baseball.
Oh, not mine. But
when I'm as a kid growing up, because between that and football,
I was gonna say,
and I played I played more football in my life, but I think baseball was just the one I enjoyed. I think what hurt it for me, I brought this up before, was when I couldn't pitch anymore during the later years of high school because of my shoulder injury. I didn't stop loving the game, but that's when I was just like, wow, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed being on the mound.
Oh, right.
And I liked hitting. I loved hitting, but like I loved first. There's nothing I didn't like. When you pitch your whole life and then when you get into like quote unquote maybe like arguably the most important years of your childhood athletics, and then them say, yeah, you can't do that anymore. That sucked.
I never had to deal with that because I wasn't a pitcher.
Right.
I didn't have enough accuracy.
That's people who don't have accuracy can't pitch.
I can throw it to second real well and third.
You need accuracy for that.
I don't know. Apparently, when I'm behind the plate, I was accurate there. But I could once I got on the mound, I was all over the place.
Sure.
But
not a lot of people can handle that pressure. Don't worry about it.
You're right. Just somebody stealing on you.
I didn't get stolen. You got to get on base to steal on me, son.
That's where you go.
Hashtag Proficient fans.
Excuse me. So, I'm all for anything that's going to change. I'm going to check it out. I still am upset that I can't watch my Tigers because I'm not spending $20 on Bally Sports.
Shout out, Will. Thanks for the Bally login, buddy.
Hey, Will. Hook a brother up. We family. He's your brother. I'm his brother. That makes us brothers. So
I have a lot of siblings then because everyone's got my logins. Wait till Netflix hits, people. I'm telling you.
Oh, no, they backed off that shit.
What? That's not a thing anymore in March?
From what I understood, they were backing off that because of the uproar that was getting ready to happen. Because let's think about it.
You said the money they're about to lose? Is that what you said?
100%.
Yeah.
Because people weren't just going to redo it. And I think it was a crazy concept. I know we're going completely opposite direction of sports right now. But I did think that was a crazy concept of them to try to come up with. Because let's say my son goes to college. I'm not going to have this kid pay an extra $15 a month to have Netflix when I'm... under my own thing. And the way that you got around it was I would have to go every month, log in at my house under his account.
Correct.
To keep it up and running. So.
Another thing, why couldn't they just do like you pay extra to have like the family plan where you get a maximum of 5 accounts, but then what you have to do is register an email with those accounts?
Yeah.
Or something like that, and that email can only be placed on like one device. Not saying that would be ideal. Right. Because I would like my Netflix on my phone, on a tablet, on my laptop, on my Rokus. But that way they're basically saying, we know you're going to share. Pay this price. You'll share it, but you can only get it on one platform because that's the only way we can control it. I don't know. All right. What do I know? If I would have known that, I would have bought fucking stock.
Right? All right. Let's reconvene in a couple minutes.
We got to change the baby's diapers. Take care.
Yeah, so as we're sitting here and I have power now and there's a lot of shit
Nobody wants to record.
We have
power. Bye.
I got to get going. I got to get stuff done. And I'm going to be honest.
Hey, to be fair, you were like, all right, what next? And I was like, y'all got power. You got power and 2 annoying kids. Might as well call it a day.
Yeah.
I think I just repeat the same thing.
Know, right? Hey,
I like both these two.
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
I need to come watch you guys play sports. I need to watch you kick around the old football.
There he goes.
I did that out of respect for you because you're a child and I'm an ass, so I don't want to say the wrong thing.
And
like how I just said ass in front of everyone.
You just heard him say you get fucked. So
get shit on! Get shit on!
Oh, he is that kid. He's that fucking kid.
Yeah, right.
You know, so and then next year definitely have to have you come to CCB Power Bomb.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm hearing you're tearing it up out there.
He's doing pretty gosh darn good. It was definitely a proud season.
I'd like to hear it.
But I got nothing else. I mean, it was a really lame week of sports. It was.
We have other stuff.
We have other stuff, but I mean, it's not anything that we feel from our hearts.
No, it would have been. It just would have been content. You know what? You guys have stuff going on too.
Yep.
So thanks for tuning in for possibly one of the shortest episodes of all time.
45 minutes, kid. I don't think we've ever done one this short. So, all right, we're out. Peace.
Take care.